We're going to talk about the Oscars because they are Sunday and the Academy is trying to shake things up by making some changes to the show. So first, unlike last year, all the awards will be handed out live on air. The Academy got some backlash last year when it handed out 8 categories off air. QR codes will appear before commercial breaks to direct viewers to videos about the nominees and behind-the-scenes footage, and acceptance speeches will be posted to TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter immediately after they leave the podium. Now, last year, 16.6 million people watched, but viewership spiked after the slap. Tori, you're shaking your head. What do you think about these new changes?
I think it's good to change. I think it's good to add digital and social media into the mix. But we were talking earlier in the meeting to be transparent, and our executive producer brought up a very good point. The people who are watching the tube are generally older. So my parents aren't going to get up and QR code something. That's just not going to happen. But at some point, you gotta blend the rivers and the oceans together, because you need a whole generation to get up.
Yeah, that was a great analogy.
Really?
That's pretty good.
Oh my
pretty
God.
Good. I'm for the QR code thing because, you know why? I love behind the scenes aspect of everything. It's the whole reason I got into this business. I love seeing that more so than the movie itself sometimes. How it's created, how they film it, the problems that they work out.
You love the outtakes.
I love it. It's my favorite. So that alone has me intrigued, and I'm glad they're adding to it.
You know why, and why we're often not thought about, is because we represent the hybrid kids generation. Like, we came of age at the time where digital was coming into
With analog.
Exactly.
Analog and digital, yeah.
So we're always forgot about. There's only a certain amount of people through the different years that actually feel that way. So we're very open to digital, we're very open to broadcast, and we want this. So we are the target, that 40-something-year-old mark.
That's a good point.
And we're bridging the gap between that older generation and the younger generation. So we're the ones that they're looking for.
Interesting. We'll have to see what the ratings are. Well, speaking of the Oscars, many news outlets are putting their predictions out there for a bunch of first-time winners. Everything Everywhere All at Once is the big front-runner for Best Picture. Michelle Yeoh and Kiwi Kwan are also expected to win. Brendan Fraser is said to be a shoo-in for Best Actor for The Whale. And Jamie Lee Curtis is up against Angela Bassett for Best Supporting Actress. And it is a toss-up as for who will take home the Oscar. Do you have any predictions, Al?
I'm not sure that Brendan Fraser is a shoo-in for The Whale.
You're thinking Austin Butler, aren't you?
I just go by what the streets say and what I hear.
What do the streets say?
The streets talking about the Oscars?
The streets
They like Elvis?
Just when I talk to people about in casual conversation, Elvis comes up all the time. The Whale never has. That's just how I always gauge things. It's just like, what do I hear? Now, those people are not voting. I'm just telling you what I hear, and Elvis is extremely popular. So.
But popularity does not equate to winning the award. You guys, none of you like that movie that I love.
Shape of Water.
Yeah, she couldn't even think of the name of it, by the way. Remember that movie a couple years ago? My favorite?
With the monster that someone fell in love with that stunk.
It did.
You know what, Sam, to your point, there are like Oscar movies, and like I think everyone that we just named is going to win. And those typically aren't movies I like. I didn't watch those movies, to be fair. I don't like the artsy stuff. They usually do win. I did watch Elvis the other day. I loved it. That kid did such a great job.
Yeah,
Austin Butler. He did such a good job. It made me sad for Elvis at the end. I started downloading all these Elvis songs. That's more my style. I'm more of a Elvis Judd Apatow kind of guy.
That makes sense.
But I'm not into the artsy stuff, and that's who usually wins.
If Austin Butler wins, will he have the accent for his speech?
Yeah, because it's the closing, it's the door shutting on that stupid voice.
You know what? I liked it so much, I don't even mind the voice anymore.
I just want him to become, I don't need this every time. I don't. It kills me. Kills me.
All right, we're going to move on. To some other news. Sad news, actor Robert Blake has died at the age of 89. So his niece confirmed he passed away with his family by his side from heart disease. Now, Robert got his start in Hollywood as a child actor and was featured in the Our Gang film series, also known as The Little Rascals. In the 1970s, he starred as an undercover cop who carried a pet cockatoo on his shoulder in the TV show Beretta. But in later years, he was more known for being put on trial for killing his wife. Now, in 2005, he was acquitted for her murder, but he was found liable for her death in a civil suit. Now, in 2012, Robert Blake clashed with Piers Morgan, who asked if he told the truth on the stand. Watch.
but you're saying you don't know if I'm telling the truth. What the hell is the difference?
I'm saying I've met you for what, 20 minutes?
I don't care about that. You put me on the stand, I'm telling the truth, and you say you're scratching the head.
Why are you being so defensive?
Because you just insulted me.
Wow. And you know, there's another interview in 2019 on 2020, and they went to where he was living. And he was living in this tiny little apartment. I mean, this is, at one point, he was a huge star.
Huge.
He was living off of his Social Security, writing on the wall, clearly not all there. You know, he was acquitted because they could not link blood or DNA. But what do you think of this?
I mean, he looks insane wearing that vest and just the way he's acting. And, you know, listen, I understand he was beloved and he passed away, and I don't want to talk ill of the dead, but it's hard to separate that when you do something like that. He was acquitted, but I still think he did it, full disclosure. Same thing, man. I love football, right? I don't really love OJ anymore. So when you do something so horrific like that, it's like...
Well said.
I don't know.
I mean, the court of public opinion will taint your legacy, and we've talked about it. You know,
and he was found liable in a civil suit of wrongful death. That's important.
Just like OJ.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I mean, whether OJ was found guilty or not, everybody came to their own conclusion about his guilt or innocence. And you think about somebody, it's hard for younger folks to understand, like, how famous, like, Joe Paterno was before his controversy, and then, like, how famous Bill Cosby was before his controversy was. I mean, it's interesting, the dirt that these people did throughout their lives. They skated on it right up until the end, and you see like how it ends. It's almost like one of those car chases where all the tires are blown out and it's just the sparks. Like, it's just the end of this incredible career, and it's just super sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. Switching gears, Jennifer Lawrence is starring in a new raunchy comedy called No Hard Feelings, where she is hired to seduce and date a 19-year-old guy by his parents. Take a look.
How about I give you a ride home?
This isn't the way to my house.
It's a shortcut. You're my hostage. What you got down there? Something for me?
Why?
You tried kidnapping me!
You're 19. Grow up.
So the dad, you guys look, the dad is Matthew Broderick, who is barely recognizable, if we can see his face again.
I mean, I wouldn't have seen it.
It looks exactly
It looks
like
just
him.
like him.
With the wig on.
Yeah, it looks like him with long hair.
I could
Look
tell.
at Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Ferris
I'm
Bueller.
sorry, I stumbled into his fan club.
Yeah, it may not be him from Ferris Bueller's Day
Al,
Off, but it looks.
who am I? You can't tell, can you?
Okay, so do you think that with the PC culture, Jeff, that we have today, that a raunchy comedy, like, you know, we remember American Pie and
Something About Mary.
Something About Mary, do you think that could fly today?
I hope so, because I feel like we're missing a lot of that with this PC culture, with this woke culture. I want to bring back some of that stuff that people are a little uncomfortable with, right? But Al, you said something funny about how believable is a story if you're getting kidnapped by Jennifer Lawrence and you're a 19-year-old boy.
Yeah, I mean, some of these movies, I know when that comes out, it's going to activate all the sites it's supposed to activate. It's problematic. It's a goofy movie. Old School was goofy. Half-Baked was goofy. It could not happen. So to look at it and be like, this white man is taking back a college, you know, it's like it doesn't exist. Like, we have to have a
Just laugh at it.
It just, like, there has to be some moments of levity in this life that we have.
Yeah.
It is
Think it'll be
short.
successful, Erica?
I think there's going to be a curiosity factor. Personally, I'm wondering, and we had this conversation earlier, if the boy's gay.
Right.
Because I don't know about y'all, but I've certainly been on dates with men who have later come out, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, that'd be a good twist.
Well, it would explain why, you know, Jennifer Lawrence's cap. I'd be like, okay.
Okay, so we got to talk about actor Pedro Pascal. He is going viral over his epic Starbucks order. In a video posted on TikTok, Pedro is seen signing an action figure from his show The Mandalorian and chatting with a fan. But then some viewers were more interested in his Starbucks order. Eagle-eyed viewers noticed his iced quad espresso with 6 shots and extra ice, a drink with 400 milligrams of caffeine. I would explode.
Oh my goodness! First of all, I cannot look at that. Like, we're rewatching Narcos and The Last of Us, and now this. It's like he is killing. He's The only person I look at night, so it's very.
And speaking of exploding, remember him on Game of Thrones?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
good
That was the only
call.
scene that really threw me off on that one. But yeah, I'm going to be honest. I talked to our cameraman Rob before, and he said he did the quad Starbucks drink, which is 4 shots. I tried it, and then I started liking it, so I could see this. I backed off. I'm down to 2 now, but
Did you feel it?
the first time, yes. It's like
Did you feel like you were kind of on drugs a little bit? Like
You
was
are, absolutely.
Oh my God, of course you are. I'm
Yes,
so sorry.
you
You're right.
are
It is a
feeling
drug.
it. Yeah, it's-
Okay. So but were you kind of like
wiry.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it.
It's intense. I think it would bother most people.
Okay.
Anybody here, like, does that, like, how many shots of coffee or espresso do you have a day?
I could drink a lot of caffeine. I did this one job where they gave me a free blood test, long story short, and one of the things in the blood test was caffeine, and they told me about it, and they said, listen, your body absorbs caffeine so much,
Oh, you
like later
metabolize
on in
it.
life,
Yeah.
there's some medication that has caffeine in it, and you have to let the doctor know that you're going to need more of that. So I could drink a cup of coffee like before I go to bed, and it doesn't affect me at all. Yeah, so each person is different. So if you ever want to, if you're curious about it, you could get a blood test to see how your body metabolizes
That makes
caffeine.
sense, because I cannot have a cup of coffee.
I have a
before
sip
bed.
of coffee and I can feel.
I could drink a cup of coffee at midnight.
Feel like Elvis?
That's crazy.
Yeah, but you can immediately feel. But like Brooks can drink 2 or 3 cups and not feel it, which is weird. What's weird to me is he's so chill and he's on that much caffeine. He's all like, I'm Pedro Pascal. By the way, he is so cute.
He really is.
Oh
I
my,
know.
great actor.
Coming
Throw that in
up.
at the end.
Very talented, very talented.